Hey cuties, Grace here. I went to write an outline for the podcast and then I got to snack and drink and said, screw it. I am just talking from my heart. I just did a little Instagram story about how I'm feeling right now. And I think I just started thinking about it as I was setting up the podcast. And I was like, we're going to talk about it because I think this is a super common feeling that a lot of people have. And it's just a feeling of being stuck, I guess. And I think that can be taken a lot of different ways, but we'll get into it. But first, let's get into a little bit of a catch up. This past week was a really wonderful mix of all different things. I think I left you off last week. We were headed to go see Trevor's grandma. And so we did that. And it ended up being the most beautiful day of the week. But I think of spring yet. It was so beautiful. We spent most of the day in the car, but thankfully we were driving home and we saw this cheese farm, Mountain Oak Farm. It's our favorite cheese. We buy it every year at our fall fair that we go to. And it's actually sold at a winery here in Niagara called The Hare. And I remember me and my mom had gone for a tasting and the tasting came with a cheese board of accompaniments and stuff. And I tried this cheese and I was like, this cheese is the best cheese ever. My mom was like, I agree. And I was like, it also tastes so familiar. And she was like, I wonder if you know it. So we asked them and they showed it to us. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's the cheese we always buy. So it is even blind test tasted fabulous. But that being said, we drove past the sign for it before getting on the highway and we're like, oh, detour, we got to go check out the cheese farm. Because I remember someone commenting saying that they had, when I had posted about it once on TikTok, saying that they had a store and that they did do tours. So I wanted to go ask about that. So we went into the store. They had every type of cheese imaginable. We picked up 2 toasted onion and what was the other one? Oh, just the 3-year-old, which is the one that we always get. And we also picked up some cork, which is kind of like a yogurt, but it's made of cheese and it's sweetened. The way they do it is with there's no additional sweeteners in it. They use either maple or berry, or there was an original plain. Strawberry, blueberry. Anyways, we got the strawberry one. It was so delicious. And my mom, after I told her that we went, she was like, oh, I wish you got me some. So don't worry, Mom. We're going back in May. We're going back in May because they told us that. So they do tours all year, the last Saturday of every month. But then in May, it's every Saturday. And I guess all of the cheese farms in the neighborhood get together and do every Saturday tours in May. And they have this whole map and you can go around and you can tour all these different cheese farms. And I had no idea this cheese world existed. So I'm so excited. And I did post about it on TikTok and someone had said that there was a bike tour that they wanted to do. And that sounds so fun on a beautiful spring May day. So I'm really looking forward to that. If that's something you're interested in, I have a TikTok all about, I believe, what is the neighborhood called? I don't remember, but I have a TikTok all about it with the map and whatever. But you can always DM me and ask me questions and I will let you know and link you to the people that know more information than I do. But yeah, so that was a really wonderful thing to just break up the day of driving and visiting and sitting. Was just getting up and stretching our legs and seeing some cows, tasting some cheese. It was really nice. And Ro was so excited to be there. Then later that week on Friday, I was telling you, my friend's 30th birthday, and it was an Adam Sandler birthday party. I had no idea what I was going to go as. I knew Trevor wanted to go from not Righteous Gemstones. I always want to say that Righteous Gemstones is a hilarious show though. What is it called? Uncut Gems. But I couldn't find something that I wanted to from there. I was thinking maybe I would be the gem if I went to something sparkly, but I couldn't find anything I liked at Value Village. I found Trevor's outfit the first day I went to the store. Then the next day I decided I'd hit up Plato's Closet and I found the perfect outfit to be Doug from 50 First Dates, who is the brother of Drew Barrymore's character. And he's just so funny. He's caring and loving and a little bit inappropriate. So we had a really fun time. Beyond the costume part, it was fun to go and see friends and catch up and hang out. And I ended up having such a hoarse voice because by the end of the night, I had downloaded Heads Up onto my phone so that we could play it. And we were shouting across the table. I was also cry laughing because we were doing the acted out one and I had it on my head. And there was this one part where the people who were acting it out, like they had 3 or 4 in a row where they were like in sync to what they were doing. And the first one that set it off was they did dolphins and they all went like, "Du, du, du, du." I don't even know, but I just like, I love Heads Up being the person with it on your head because you're like, what the heck is coming into you? Like, what are you seeing right now? It's so funny. I also just love that it brings people together. But yeah, so that was lots of fun. And we had a really, really chill weekend. Um, I didn't vlog this weekend. I vlogged Friday, but I didn't vlog Saturday and Sunday. We just had a really chill time at home. Saturday was rainy all day. We had stayed over at Trevor's parents, so we just hung out there all day, watched movies, chilled, ate food, like just whatever. And then we had to drive home and it was so windy. Our car was like and we have to drive over this bridge, if you know, like going from like the GTA to Niagara. There's this bridge called the Skyway, and in the wind it's like we had like a car transfer in front of us, like a truck that moves cars. So it was like a double decker of stacked of cars, and you could just see it swaying. And I was like, okay, let's stay back from that. But we all got across safe and got home. And then on Sunday, it ended up being beautiful. It was windy, but the sun came out and it became very beautiful. So I was very happy about that. And we had a lovely day. We went to, what did we do? Oh, Sunday, yeah. We woke up. I think me and Ro went out into the garden and picked up some sticks and just started clearing out some stuff that I'd thrown into the bushes in the spring or in the fall, started putting it into bags. And then I think we played with the neighbors for a bit, went to church, came home. Ro kind of fell asleep in the car, so she didn't really have a nap. So me and her just hung out. I think we watched a movie. Trevor went to the gym. And then we had a lovely big family walk in the afternoon. We decided to go for a walk to the park, and then we were like going to go grab some food somewhere. There's this new sub shop that's been open for a few months that we've been wanting to try but keep forgetting about. And so we were so excited. But fun fact about where I live is literally nothing is open on Sundays and Mondays usually, but definitely Sundays. And it's such a bummer. But like it's just something that's about this neighborhood. And so we walked to the sub shop and it was closed. So then we went to walk over to Bushel and Peck, which is like my favorite little corner shop grocer, but they have like a sandwich shop in there as well. And I thought it was closed on Sundays, but it was actually open on Sunday, but the sandwich shop part was closed. Then there's this little Caribbean takeout eatery grill next door to that. And we were really hyped on the idea of that, but it was closed on Sunday. And we went through the list and it was like everything was closed in walking distance. And that was that. So we went to the park and then we had Alibi with us. So we walked her home, dropped Alibi off, and then we went downtown to go grab some Indian food from our favorite Indian spot. And it was delicious. And then we had takeout or like leftovers for Monday lunchtime, which was perfect because I bought that naan from Trader Joe's, the garlic one. I think it was just garlic butter, I assume. And I was really excited to try that out. So that was delicious and made our leftovers even more of a delicious meal. So, but it was a great Sunday. Like that was perfect. That I love, except for we were all hangry. That's the only thing. I feel like me and Trevor, I was fine. And I feel like Trevor was pushing his hanger onto me. Like he was like, I know we need to go find food for you. And I was like, for me, which was offending me because I thought I was being fine. Like I was like, yes, I'm hungry, but I think I'm controlling my attitude. I'm still being like a fun, loving person to be around because I can get pretty snappy when I'm hangry. But I think that was Trevor being hangry. And then I remember thinking when we were so close to the sub shop, I was like, oh, I can't wait. Like, I'm so excited to see what kind of subs they have. It's also an ice cream store. We can get some ice cream. It's going to be so nice. Like, I started getting energy off the idea of having that energy of the food. And then when we got to it being closed, it was like, oh no. But I was like, it's going to be okay. We'll just walk over to Bushel and Peck. And it was like with each thing, then my hanger was starting to come out. But I was still trying to control myself. And I think I did a good job. I was being definitely I was like, Trevor was like, I'm in the mood for Indian. I was like, okay, let's do this. And we got a plan together. But that was funny. Also, we did stop at a corner store at one point. Ro was quite the trooper. She had her scooter and then she got carried part way, scooter part way, walked part way. But she was a trooper because we were going on quite an adventure. And she was really excited for the ice cream at the sub shop. So we did stop at a corner store and grab a Minions popsicle so we could all take a chillax while we thought. But yeah, it was a wonderful weekend. And that is my favorite type of thing to do with the fam, is just get out, stroll around, find somewhere new to try some food or some coffee, some treats, whatever. Like, I love doing that stuff. So I'm really looking forward to Saturday farmers market, library, park runs coming back soon. I feel like Trevor and Ro kept up to date with them for a while into the winter time when I had some things that I had to do on Saturday mornings, but now we should be able to get back into the role soon. Okay, let's get into our snack and drink of the week. I'm actually so excited. I actually only wrote down my drink, so I'm going to have to think of my snack, but I'm so excited. Where's my drink? It's usually over here, but it's all the way over here. One second. I'm so excited for my drink this week. Also, I'm using Rose Smoothie Cup, which I've never thought to use Rose Smoothie Cup because it's hers, and I guess normally we have smoothies together. But it is so cute. I kind of want one for myself, but I guess I could just use hers when she's not using it. I did have to. I need to get us a new pack of reusable straws. They have just disappeared. So I'm using my favorite paper straws, which are just from the dollar store, and they're so amazing. We've also had this box for years. I think we've had this box since we lived in the condo, like years when we lived in the condo. So they're really great, and we don't use them that often. So we just continuously have them. But let me take a sip, and then I'll tell you what it is. Mm. Yum. So this is my new obsession. I saw it on TikTok by Tess. I believe her name is just Tess, Tess. She probably has a longer name than that, but that's what I remember of. Anyway, she posted this what is it called? A smoothie that's made with cashews and dates. And I think she said it's inspired off of somewhere that you buy smoothies, but I'm honestly not a smoothie person. But we just got this new blender because Trevor, we had this American Amazon gift card from our wedding, and we finally used it because you can only ship to the US. So I like went and picked it up. But we finally used it, and Trevor really wanted a good blender. Like, our last blender was like starting to break a bit. So he was like, I really want to like Vitamix. And I was like, okay, like if that's what you want. So we just got like this really high power blender. And I am now going to start experimenting with smoothies because I have never really been a smoothie person. But this one sounded just delightful. So this is a cashew date smoothie. And the base of it, it's so easy. So it's just a handful of cashews, a couple dates, the pitted medjooled ones, or they don't have to be pitted, you pit them, but the medjooled ones. I think I did two. And then a sprinkle of some nice flaky salt. Of course, I use fleur de sel. And then whatever milk you like. I think the creator or Tess originally did it with almond milk or oat milk. I don't know. I use just cow's milk. So whatever milk you want. And then I forgot to put the splash of vanilla, but it's still delicious. You're supposed to put a splash of vanilla, some chia seeds, and ice. And you blend it up. And it is so good. And then I did see someone in the comments say that it's really good with a shot of espresso, and also if you want to add in half a banana. And I was like, oh my gosh, but it was so good. I was going to put a shot of espresso in it, but then it was so good. I was like, I don't want to, I just want to enjoy it right now. And then I'll make it again and try the espresso. But it is so good. It just tastes like a creamy, nutty shake. Like, it's so good. Yeah, it just tastes like a cashew milkshake. I'm like kind of obsessed with it. And it was actually super filling. So this is my new thing about smoothies. So I've never liked to like drink my food because I never feel satiated when I drink food. Like, I love to eat. I love to chew, I love to taste, I love to eat. I don't know. So I've never been a really big smoothie person because I also always just have like water on the side of my food. But recently I feel like my mornings have just been like up and go and out of the house, and I feel like sometimes I don't end up eating until I get like back into the house maybe around 9:30 or 10, and I'm up at like 6 o'clock. So I'm like hangry, very hungry, like grumpy and really depleted of energy. And it's hard for me to continue the rest of my day from that place. Like, even if I eat, then I feel like I need hours to like recuperate from like doing all the things that I had already done without anything in my stomach. So I remember last summer I was all about, I found this too, like when I was out and about with Ro in the summertime, I was all about different, like not protein bars because I don't really like protein powders and stuff, but like nut bars and things like that. I was really big into those. And um I would always have one with me. Like, oh, and I really love the chomps that I got in the US. And someone said you can get chomps, which is just like a meat stick, without like the additives. Um, Apparently you can get them online at some Canadian retailers. So if you do want them, I think you can Google them if you're Canadian. But yeah, I was actually thinking I need to get a bunch of those. So chomps and these like nut bars. I just like to keep those with me so that I can have like a little pick me up of energy. So that's what I liked to do last year. And I was actually thinking like, oh, maybe I need to start doing that this year. So when like I can just have that in the morning and not have to think about anything. But now that we have this blender, this smoothie truly was a game changer because I enjoyed it. I feel like a lot of smoothies, it's like I end up not liking them, but I enjoyed it. And I feel still satiated, full, and have energy. And I think it was a really good brain smoothie because it's full of good fats and nothing like a clarifying brain moment in the morning. Like, I love that. So, this was a really good smoothie. And it kind of also is a snack as well. So, maybe that's why I didn't write down a snack, but that is my favorite snack and drink of the week. Like, I think I'm going to be fixated on it for a while. Yum. Okay, let's get into this is where I run out of notes and now I'm like, oh no, I'm thrown off. But let's get into what I learned this week. What I learned this week. Let's put the iPad down. We don't need this. I learned, actually, I'm going to put it up here just in case, don't want anything to spill on it. I learned that I am feeling stuck. And what I mean by that is I always have this problem where the grass is always greener, right? Like the grass is always greener on the other side. So when I'm busy and I'm in my slow down era, don't worry, I don't want to be busy, but I do want to be in a new environment more, I think. I'm not sure, but what I mean is when I'm out of the house and I'm doing things and I'm bopping around from left to right and I literally only have time to like I'm only in home when when it's morning time, when it's bedtime, like for me to hit the pillow. Like when I'm in those modes, I feel like I'm craving to be alone and in my bed and watching shows and just hanging out and having the freedom to work from the couch or um, work wherever I want in the house, work in my studio, work in my desk downstairs, work in my kitchen. Every area of my house is a work surface, but just like that flexibility, especially in the summer to work outside, like that's so dreamy. But I feel like that's what I crave. Like when I'm out and about and busy and out of the house, I feel like I crave to be home alone and with myself. But then when I'm home alone with myself, I feel like that only lasts so long. And then I crave to be out and about and being with other people. And I think this is the true battle of a introverted extrovert. Like I really do feel like I gain so much energy from being around other people. And I also feel like I have energy to give to other people. I love the yin and the yang of it. I love the give and the take. And I also feel like after a time of being with people, I love to go back to my home, into my safe space, into my bed and watch shows and just like do things that I like to do alone and have time to debrief and be on my own and make a snack and whatever. Like I love that. And I just feel right now very much like I can't I can't be productive at home right now because I feel like I'm like stuck. I just need a better balance of maybe seeing people. That's what I was thinking. Like I said in my story this morning, I was tired of seeing the same people every day. That made me laugh because the same people I see every day is Trevor and Rosie. I'm not tired of seeing Trevor and Rosie at all, but I'm tired of just like not seeing more people. But then I feel sometimes stressed out when I make plans to see people because then it'll end up taking like a large chunk of the day or the time that I have without Ro, like when Ro's in school, which is the time that I have to work, but I don't feel very organized in work right now. So I don't feel like I have that. And by organized, I mean, I don't feel like I feel like I need all the time I have, but then I don't feel like I yeah, I've prepared myself to be able to like take an afternoon off to go do something because I haven't prepped myself. But then I fall into this trap where I feel really burnt out of being with myself all the time, doing the same thing all the time. And then I feel resentful to it. And then it's hard for me to like complete the stuff I need to complete. So actually, yesterday I woke up and I had this vlog issue over the weekend. I couldn't get my vlog up. Well, I had my vlog up on Sunday, but I couldn't give it to the people. I couldn't make it public because there was like a copyright issue. It was frustrating because there wasn't copyright on it. And so I had to like dispute it, all this stuff. Anyways, then on Monday, I was like, I told myself, I said, I'm not going to stress too much about it because old me would spend all day like stressing about that. But I was like, I'm not going to stress too much. I'm going to get it up for Monday. It's going to be okay. And I said, on Monday, if it's not up, then like if it's not disputed, then I'll just like fix it and re-upload it with something that hopefully it doesn't pick up as copyright. None of the stuff I'm doing is copyright, but I did that. So on Monday I woke up and then all of a sudden I felt this like overbearing stress of like I need to get the vlog up. And then I went to drop off Row and I was like I also need to go grocery shopping, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to Starbucks and I'm just going to work for 2 hours. Um and get this vlog up and get a bunch of stuff organized so that I feel better and then I'm outside of the house because I feel like when I get back to the house sometimes I fall into that trap of like not being as productive as I want to be or whatever. So sometimes you just need to be around other people and other energies. So that was really great. And that was a really great step for me to do. But that being said, I don't want to work in coffee shops every day, mainly because the internet isn't as reliable. Also, a lot of the work I do is in the house, filming recipes, filming videos, whatever. And I don't want to buy coffee every day. I have a coffee machine at home. I like making coffee. I like making food. I like doing that stuff. So it's like, I don't want to um, do that. So that's just like a whole nother thing. But anyways, I didn't want to make this like a ranty episode. And that's why I was hesitant to even talk about this. And I was gonna do a whole nother thing, but now here we are, and I hope I'm not coming off ranty, but I'm just trying to be honest with you about how I'm feeling lately. And I feel like this is a super normal time for me to be feeling like this. That's what I always try to remind myself. Think of the patterns, think about what time this year, last year, what time this year, last year. Yeah, this time last year, how was I feeling? And the year prior, we're in a season change. I think it's a normal time where we feel suffocated by our surroundings, where we want to do spring cleaning, where all of these things want to happen. But I feel like me personally, I'm not organized enough right now to take time to do those things. But that's stopping me from being able to be organized in my work balance anyway. So it's like I just need to go do those things so that I can feel so much better, clear-minded. And also I need to schedule in more social moments. I was just thinking like back in the day, like in high school, we used to have late starts on Wednesday morning, and me and my friend every Wednesday morning we would walk to Tim Hortons on the way to school, because you had like an extra hour. So we would take the long way to school. We'd stop at Tim Hortons. We'd have nice chats and get our ice caps, our Timbits, whatever, our bagels, and get to school. And it was this really wonderful thing that I look forward to every week that just like helped break up the week and the routine. And it was like a nice little social thing first thing in the morning. And I'm definitely a morning person like that. So I'm thinking like I need to do more things like that. But to do more things like that, I need to make more in person friends where I live, which is always just like the standard issue is that I have not made those community connections totally where I am living right now. Um yeah, and I think that's just like a whole thing in its own. I feel like I'm ready to foster relationship, but then I feel sometimes overwhelmed by the idea of fostering relationship because I don't want to let people down and I want to be the best friend I can be to all of the friends in my life. But I don't know. That's a whole nother can of worms. And I think every time I feel like, yeah, this is something I want to do or I want to make these plans, then I like talk myself out of it because I feel overwhelmed with the ability to maintain. But then I think we catch ourselves in feeling like everything needs to be routinely. And that's so not true. Routine, I always say this about myself. I love routine that exists without routine, which what does that even mean? I love to know that there are things that I can do continuously, but not have to do every day, every week, every month. So I feel like my routine is always about appreciating what each day has to offer, how I feel, what has my schedule turned out to be, how his row schedule that super impedes mine, Trevor's, how everyone's emotions are feeling every day, because I feel like that really like feeds into how your day is going to go. And yeah, basically wake up in the morning and decide from the handful of things that I know I love to do and will make me feel uh, or help me support where I feel each day, and then do them. So, yeah, I hope that made sense. But basically, it's like having an open ended routine. So instead of every morning I wake up and I go for a walk and I brush my teeth, and I do brush my teeth every morning, but I brush my teeth, I make a smoothie, I take my kid to school, I come home, I write in my journal for 10 minutes, this, blah, 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 all day. Instead of having to do that every single day, it's like some days I do that. I know that that fits into my schedule for today. And then other days I don't do that. And maybe I'll go out for coffee with a friend, or maybe I'll um, wake up and brush my teeth right away, take a shower right away, and totally just have a me morning and kind of ignore the responsibilities of being a mom. That's where Trevor will take it, not ignore Ro, don't worry. But I just feel very much like I'm craving something, and I am afraid to accept what that new thing looks like. And I feel like I'm such an all or nothing girly. I have a whole episode about this, but I'm just trying really hard to not be all or nothing. It's like today I can feel this way and accept it, and tomorrow I can feel another way and accept that. And it doesn't have to be like I create a whole new lifestyle for the way I'm feeling today. That's not what it is. It's just being more, I don't know, accepting of my thoughts, I guess. And understanding that the grass is always greener. And when we feel stuck, we have the ability to move beyond that. But I think a lot of the time, my stuckness is more about me feeling overwhelmed by whatever surroundings are around me. And for me, that right now, for sure, I know that the kitchen itself, like the dishes aren't bad. Trevor did those this morning, but there is toys everywhere in every nook and cranny. I just finished folding a bunch of laundry yesterday morning. Thankfully, I did that. But I feel like I still have so much laundry piled up. I just think that everything right now is kind of all over the place. I know that our room has stuff all over the floors. Rome's room has stuff all over the floor. Our guest room has stuff all over the floor. I just know that everything is kind of disheveled right now. And I feel a lot of chaos in that. But I also, like, when I came home, I was like, this morning, I was like, I'm going to come home right from dropping off Row and tidy everything up. And then I'll record the podcast and I'll feel so much better. But then I felt like then I was worried that I'd feel tired and want to take a break and then not record the podcast until later, which always stresses me out. So I just wanted to get the podcast done. So I was like, I'm just going to get the podcast done. And then I told myself, like, before we were recording the podcast, I was like, don't worry about that. Just leave it all day. It's not your responsibility. Like, it will be dealt with when it's dealt with. It will become my responsibility at some point, but like, it can be a team effort later. Um, and then I started recording the podcast, felt really good about that. But now I'm feeling like, after I record the podcast, I think I might feel more energy if I just like do a 20-minute tidy at least of the main floor. But then that feels so daunting because I feel stuck in the fact that I do that every single day. It's like every single day I do the exact same thing and I see the exact same people. And I think I just miss like being with other people and having that split up in your day. And I think that's fair. I think it's fair that especially with like other people who work from home. I keep saying this to Trevor. Like, I feel like we both all of a sudden started working from home, which so many people have. And now it's like, it's all like, I feel like it's hit us within the past 3 years, but I think now it's like, it's really hitting us, especially because we move cities and we're in a new place. And it's like, we don't have those connections like around us, even like work wise, because Trevor's work is located in another city, like things like that. It's like even the people you meet at work aren't people who you could just like hang out with outside of work because they don't live in the same place as you. And I think we're just all feeling this, like, I don't know, burnt out of being with ourselves. Maybe. I don't know. But that's how I'm feeling. I literally just went on a ranty poo. I have no idea what I ended up saying, but I'm feeling stuck as so many of us do. And I think all you can do is be open and honest with how you're feeling, and you'll feel so much better just because of that. Like, I knew if I talked about this and got it off my chest, I think that's another thing is I always feel stressed out because I tend to talk about something. Oops, sorry, my computer just made a notification noise, but I tend to talk about something, get it off my chest, and then feel so much better. And it's like, oh, that never affected me, even though it was a big part. Like, I've probably been stirring on this thought for a long time. And then I feel bad because it's like now I've put this idea in other people's heads and they're thinking like, oh, how can we help, or how can we make you feel better, or like, oh, Grace is feeling this way. Like, this is how Grace feels. We can't change our opinion of that. But like, it's like usually after I get it off my chest, by saying it and talking to someone, I feel so much better. So, and I can like move on. So this is my hope after this podcast, is that I can just move on from this. And also, I hope that this reaches you if this is something you're feeling, if you're feeling stuck and you're feeling maybe lonely or overwhelmed by your surroundings or your daily tasks. I hope that this message hits you and that you have someone that you can talk to. And I mean, you can always come into my DMs and write out everything to me and talk to me over there, because I do think that it feels so much better to just let things out, because I know personally myself, I can stir and stir and stir and stir and stir forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. But once I just talk about it, like, it does feel like a weight is lifted off your shoulders, and that you can look at your compass and redirect yourself where you need to go, point yourself in the direction that is meant to go. You gain clarity when you speak the words out of your head, really, truly, especially for me. Like, I live in my own world. So thank you for being that for me today. Really, thank you so much, because I already am just feeling so much better and relieved. And you know what? I think I am going to, after this, put on some music and do a 20-minute tidy. I know it's going to make me feel so much better. And I do feel now like I have this area inside of me with a pocket of extra energy because I've let out this. So yes, I'm very appreciative of you being here today and to listen to this and to listen to me. It really means the world. And I think this is the purpose of this podcast. So I never, this is me. I get caught in my head thinking, oh, I feel guilty because of this or that, but it's like, it's my podcast and I can do with what as I please. And I'm so appreciative of you. That's not me not being appreciative. I hope you know that. But yeah. So this is what I learned this week. It's okay to be stuck, and it's even better if you can talk to a friend about it. So thank you, friends. Thank you for being here for me. Okay, let's get into our roses, buds, and thorns. Roses, buds, and thorns. My rose this week. Ooh, what is my rose? Honestly, I think it was having that really lovely Sunday afternoon with the family. I feel like even that in itself, that I went with Trevor and Ro, I feel like I've been in this bad habit recently, where there's been occasions where I've really needed to do something like work wise, and Trevor's taken Ro out to go do whatever, go on a family, well, just the two of them adventure, and I've stayed home and got some work done. And that, I feel like that's become like a really bad habit for me, in the sense that, like, I like going on those family things. I like participating. I like being with the family. I don't want to stay home and work. So I think I'm just like, I'm really happy I did that. I remember thinking, like, I know Trevor and Ro are going to go. Grace, just go. Even if you think you want to stay home, go. And I'm so happy I did, because it really, I think that broke that cycle for me. And now I feel like I'm better and back into that routine of getting into the family afternoon adventures on Sunday or whatever that may be, Saturday morning. And so that felt really good. Sometimes you just need to break yourself out of like a comfort routine. Um, yeah. And there's always something better. And I think that was something that was better for me to participate in. My thorn this week is honestly, I don't know. I guess just feeling overwhelmed in my own mind. But as you know, I'm already starting to feel better about that. So thank you for being here. My bud, I'm really, really, really looking forward to just some warmer weather. Like, I wanna set up our deck so bad, but then I'm also overwhelmed with the idea of setting up our deck because right now the inside of our house is such a disaster. It's hard to think about taking care of the outside of our house, but I am excited for it because I think once our deck is open, so what we do is we get an awning. The thing is, I'll set up our deck a little bit before our awning comes, but our awning's gonna come sometime in April, which is soon. It's already March, like the end of March. What the heck? So, I mean, it's gonna be in the next couple weeks, but we have an awning, and then once the awning goes up, I can bring Rose table outside and all of our activities and stuff, and then we usually just have that outside of the house, which alleviates some mess from inside, and that'll feel really refreshing. It will feel really refreshing. So I'm looking forward to that. What is next? Oh, of course, entertainment recap. Okay. Entertainment recap. Entertainment recap. Okay. I started Love Island Australia season 3. Okay, I started season 3 and I watched maybe 2 episodes, and then I went on yesterday and saw that season 4 is now being posted on Hayu, like episode per day. I think it's over already, but they started posting on Hayu. And then I was like, "Oh no, should I watch season 4 or continue season 3?" But my friend Rachel, who is like my Love Island cutie, she tells me everything that's good because she's been watching it forever and ever. She said that I should watch season 3. So I was like, she told me I should watch season 3. I'm going to watch season 3. And I was already 2 episodes in and I was kind of hooked, which typically doesn't happen. It normally takes me at least a week to get hooked into Love Island. And so I was like, okay, I'm committed to season 3. And also I want to see Jessie come in at whatever point because I know she's from Love Island, Australia. But I am now probably a week in, like, of episodes, so 5, maybe 6 episodes in, and I am fully hooked. Like, I cannot wait to watch it. I literally am like, "I can't wait for lunch today so I can sit down and watch Love Island." It's so good. So if you're looking for a Love Island to carry you till the next season of UK, season 3 is really, really good. There's good drama, good recoupling, good entertainment off the bat, so I'm really enjoying it. Also, I kind of love Love Island Australia so far because it seems a little more chill in the way that they get to hang out at the villa. Like sometimes they're inside, sometimes they're outside. Like I don't know, it just feels a little more chill. It feels really good. And I kind of love everyone seems a little more natural too. Like, I don't know, natural teeth, natural lips. I may be wrong. I'm not very good at telling what's wrong, and you can get whatever you want done. Like, I'm not saying anything against that. But like when everyone has everything done, and all kind of looks the same, it kind of isn't as interesting. And I feel like the Australia one, everyone's kind of got a different look to them. And I appreciate that. So I think there is a lot of beauty in just being yourself and having fun. But that's a tale for another time. So yes, I'm very much enjoying that. I believe the Below Deck finale has happened and I have not watched it. So I need to watch that. And then I have to find out what the next Below Deck season is. I'm trying to think what else I watched this week. Nothing really. Me and Ro have watched Moana so many times. I love Moana. We watched it again this week. It was so good. I just love it. Love everything about it. And I'm trying to think. I've been listening to The Toast. I always listen to The Toast, like podcast wise, but this past week was so good. Like it was just so many funny bits and bobs. And I'm trying to think if there's any other podcast episode that I listened to that I was absolutely loved. Another podcast that I absolutely love is Match Made. It's so good. It's about these 3 friends who live in New York, and one's an influencer, Katie, and then the other 2 are her friends from growing up, I believe. Anyways, they all live in New York, and it's about their dating life, and it's so fun, and it literally feels like you're catching up with friends. I absolutely love that. And yeah, so if you're not listening to Match Made, it comes out on Fridays, and it's really, really fun. And I'm like not in that life at all, big city or dating or being young in my 20s in New York. So like, but I really enjoy it. And if you're looking for any new music, you can always hit up my Spotify playlist, see what I'm listening to. Our new vlog is up over on YouTube. If you're watching here on YouTube, hi. To catch up with the weekly day to day of what I'm up to. But yeah, it's been a really lovely week round. I've just been feeling very much stuck in everything, like, and this has really helped me to, get out of that. So thank you so, so much for being here. Sending you love and kisses and lots of hugs. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Wishing you a beautiful day.